Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the concept of psychological safety. We're going to see this why is important in software engineering and pretty much in any job that requires some sort of creativity. But before doing that, if you're interested in anything that is related to software engineering, coding, and creating a positive developer experience in your organization or in your team, consider subscribing. So now, let's start with the acknowledging the fact that our industry, so our jobs are highly creative. So there is a component of what we do on a daily basis that require some sort of creativity. What we do is not just writing code or following instructions, but we have to understand and find solutions to complex problems. So this always require a specific mindset. And if you don't have psychological safety, that's going to be harder to get. So this is where psychological safety play an important role in software engineering. But let's analyze what is psychological safety. So psychological safety refers to an environment where you feel free to express yourself, you feel free to express your opinion, you don't feel judged, and doing that is not going to harm you, it's not going to put you in a risky situation with regards to your promotion or to keeping your job or other things like this. So in essence, it's the confidence that you feel that you won't be punished or humiliated if you speak up or you try something new. But why it's important? It's important because creativity thrives when there is an atmosphere of trust and openness. So when teams feel psychologically safe, it's more likely that they're going to share their own ideas, and even if they are not refined or they are not polished and they may sound, they can well be a bit silly at the beginning, but having this helps everyone else to get exposed to someone else's thought process, which is one of the key elements of the creative process. So let's try to join the dots between what we have said about the nature of our work, which is mainly creative, and the psychological safety. So in creative works, you can find motivation if you have three elements. These three elements are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And these three concepts are well known in the literature, and there are books, and one of them is one of my favorite books, which is Drive by Daniel Pink. He highlights the importance of these three elements in creative work, and he explains the difference between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Just to summarize, intrinsic motivation is anything that drives you to do something because you want to do that. You don't the motivation is not coming from external inputs. Extrinsic motivation is when, for example, you do something because you want to make sure you won't be fired, or you do something because you want to make sure you get your salary. So both are levels of motivation, but one is very different from the other, because with extrinsic motivation, you will do just what is enough to achieve your goal. Instead, with the intrinsic motivation, you're pushing yourself to achieve that goal and to be even better. So we said the three elements are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. But if we analyze each one of them, so the autonomy means that we feel we can explore new ideas, and we can also take ownership in the problem. So we believe that we are in charge. So that's one important element. So then mastery is another element, which is we want to get better at the things that we are doing. And that is super true for software engineering. I remember that the reason why I started this is because I wanted to be better, and I still want to be better. So I'll try to learn new things every day. And that's inner motivation, right? And again, then the third element is purpose. So if we believe in what we are doing, it doesn't have to be something that is super noble, but we want to make sure that the work we do is going to benefit someone, right? So we want to make sure that everyone using the code that we are writing or is going to benefit, is going to change something. Otherwise, there is no point in doing that. So these three elements now. As you can imagine, they can only exist if you are in an environment where you feel psychologically safe. So, but now, how can we make sure in our teams or in our organization we are building an environment that is psychologically safe? There is no easy recipe, but these are some points that I think may help. So, for example, encouraging open communication is very important, and this starts with the leadership, right? So if we have transparency and we try to be crystal clear with the goals and even the complexity and even the fact that sometimes things don't go as we want, that is already a good signal because we are leading by example. Then another way to do this is to empower the actual development teams to speak up. And one way to do that is by simply asking questions. So cascading down to them some requirements without asking them what's their opinion, it means we don't care about what they think about the product they are developing. They just need to follow the instructions, and this is a killer for the motivation. So this is another element that is key in building high performing teams. The other thing is don't punish failures. So every failure is an opportunity for learning, and that must be communicated. Obviously, I don't want to say we have to celebrate failures, but having a positive culture around failures is extremely important, because it's going to give the message to developers that that is an opportunity to learn and put something in place to not do that again. So in conclusion, what I want to say is that working in a psychologically safe environment is going to benefit not only the developers that are working, but everybody in that environment, and is going to increase the performance of the entire company. So similarly to my recent video where I discussed developer productivity and why measuring it is not a good idea, it's essential to recognize that software engineers can excel in psychologically safe environments. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!